The next game up here, Rams at the Bucks, and what the hell was this game, folks? What the heck was going on in this game? Everything was going great. The Rams were winning. They were kind of dominating this entire game, but then the turnovers happened, and they kept happening, and then they kept happening. They did not stop until Tom Brady and the Bucks tied it up. Coincidence? Foul play? Who knows, folks? We'll never know. You can speculate. You can conspiratorialate. You can do whatever you want. You've got some good evidence. I'm not going to lie. It's like, oh, okay. Like, when the game was going, we're like, okay, of course this would happen. Of course it's Tom Brady. Of course this is happening. Another turnover? Of course. Oh, Tom Brady quickly scores again. Oh, of course. Oh, Jalen Ramsey gets burned by Mike Evans, the one play of the game that goes big for the touchdown. Of course that would happen, right? So I get it, folks, but at the end of the day, we'll never know, so it's unfortunate. But Rams finally pull out the win here because the Bucks blew the defense. Shout out to Matthew Stafford, and who was it? Who caught the ball here? Cooper Kupp. Of course it would be Cooper Kupp. Shout out big time to Cooper Kupp. Watching this game, seeing how Cooper Kupp played in this game, you would call him the best wide receiver in the NFL at the current moment, but then we still had one more game to go, and Tyreek Hill said, yeah, he stole the crown for a little bit, but I'm going to take the crown back, and Tyreek Hill is once again the best receiver in the NFL. And this is not a knock to Cooper Kupp. Don't get me wrong. Cooper Kupp is fantastic, folks. So gosh dang good. So consistent, folks. Always getting open. But what Tyreek Hill has is just a little bit more special because he can just take it and run with it and go and not be caught. Yes, Cooper Kupp is fast, but he can be tracked down. Tyreek Hill, we've got the play. We'll talk about it when we get to that game. He can't be tracked down. So I'm still putting Tyreek Hill over Cooper Kupp as greatest wide receiver currently in the NFL, but still, that's not a knock on Cooper Kupp. Number 1B. I don't even want to put that man at number 2. We get 1A Tyreek Hill and 1B Cooper Kupp. That's the only thing. It's not even a full number separating these two players. It's a letter, a sub-letter separating these two. So please don't take anything that I'm saying right here out of, out of disrespect or anything like that. Trust me, folks, I'm respecting the hell out of Cooper Kupp, okay? I've got Rams shoes. I got a Rams mini helmet, all right? I love this Rams team. I love Cooper Kupp. I truly love Sean McVay. Matthew Stafford finally getting his chance to prove what he can do on a good team in the playoffs. Tom Brady has been able to prove what he can do in the playoffs because he's been with great teams his entire career. Aaron Rodgers has been trying to show what he can do in the playoffs, but always comes up short. Matthew Stafford finally having a good team and proving he is the real deal. And if the Lions were any remotely good his entire career, maybe he would already have a ring and multiple playoff wins under his belt, but it took him a couple of years to get out of Detroit. Unfortunate, and now finally proving what he can do. I mean, they got off to a great start, folks. Field goal on their first drive, touchdown on their next drive. They have to punt, but they're right back to scoring with the field goal. And then they were this close to scoring right before halftime, but Cam Akers fumbles the ball on the 1-yard line, folks. Man, oh man, and once again, the turnovers almost ruined this Rams team, and I was feeling so sorry for Sean McVay the entire game because the Rams were outplaying the Bucks the entire game, folks. This really was not that close of a game. The Bucks could do nothing offensively, really, the entire game. 3 points in the first half. And then the turnover started to happen by the Bucks there, or by the Rams in the second half, third quarter, end of the fourth quarter, and that's when the Bucks started to put up all their points. The first half of this game, it was Rams big, Rams dominating. Rams almost could have truly put away the game multiple times here, but the turnovers kept the Bucks in it and really made it look like a competitive game. This was dominance here by the Rams, and you give credit to Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay. Matthew Stafford didn't commit any of the turnovers. Sean McVay didn't commit any of the turnovers. Unfortunately, it was Cam Akers who returned the season off the ACL tear and fumbling the ball a couple Cooper Kupp, who never fumbles the ball, and then Brian Allen fumbled the ball as well. So 4 fumbles by this Rams team, keeping the Bucs in it. So let's, take it what it is. This Rams team truly won this game. This was a win, and if the Bucs ended up winning this game, I would have felt so heartbroken for Sean McVay, because Sean McVay's a genius, folks. This man is a true coach, a great leader. Even after this throw, folks, I love it. He pumps up his quarterbacks, folks. You gotta love the leadership that Sean McVay has after Matthew Stafford threw that big play 44-yard pass that caught the defense by the Bucs off guard. Sean McVay is the first one to track and hawk down Matthew Stafford and give him praise, give him a hug. That's what you need at the head coaching position, folks. Believing, trusting, showing that to your players, not just kind of, blaming them when they're bad, lifting them up when they're good. And that's what makes Sean McVay so great, and why I'm a true fan of this Rams team, honestly. Sean McVay has truly won me over. So true dominance here by this Rams team, and Tom Brady kind of potentially, taking advantage of all those turnovers. But, Cam Akers fumbling right before halftime didn't really truly derail them, because start of the third quarter, they had to punt, but the Bucs punt too, and then the Rams back to scoring touchdown, and then once again another fumble here, leading a score to the Bucs. Bucs fumble. Now we're at the start of the fourth quarter, folks. This is how the fourth quarter went and how crazy it was. Bucs fumble. Rams fumble. Bucs can't do anything off that fumble. Turnover on downs. Rams miss a field goal. Bucs turnover on downs. Rams have to punt. Bucs get a touchdown. Rams fumble. Bucs get a touchdown. Rams get the go-ahead walk-off game-winning field goal. So absolute insanity at the end of this game, turnover-wise, where in the end of the Bills-Chiefs game, insanity scoring-wise, touchdown-wise. So here we go. Let's start with this Rams team. Matthew Stafford, folks. He throws the ball 28 of 38. We get 73%, baby. Absolutely love it. 366 yards, slinging the ball around. Love it. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Fantastic. Clean, flawless game here by Matthew Stafford. Now, we will watch Matthew Stafford here on our Wednesday film study again here. I think he did miss a few wide open passes that, we probably should have taken instead of getting sacked sometimes. So, once again, decision making by Matthew Stafford. We are going to have to put it under the microscope. We did see it a couple of times in the regular season. Haven't really seen it as of late here. But now, as the competition and the pressure truly get to Matthew Stafford is in uncharted territory right here, never being to a championship game, never being into a divisional game, never being to a Super Bowl, not knowing how to play all these games. And once again, experience factor coming into the playoffs and all that. So Matthew Stafford truly cannot afford any mistakes here, and really can't afford to miss any wide open kind of reads. So we'll take a quick look at that Wednesday in our film study to see if Matthew Stafford truly played a flawless game or not, but we'll see. So Matthew Stafford, great game all around here. Rushing attack was okay. Cam Akers, 24 rushes for only 48 yards, and he had 2 fumbles. So didn't like that Sony Michel only got 1 rush. You got Cam Akers fumbling the ball, and you still don't utilize Sony Michel. Sony Michel got you here. We like Cam Akers, don't get us wrong, but Sony Michel helped you get here. You got him from the Patriots, and he's been a blessing to y'all, and then you give him 1 carry when Cam Akers was actively getting bottled up and actively fumbling the ball twice here. So, okay, Sean McVay, I know you want to stick with your players. I get it. But still, Sony Michel, let's get him a little bit more involved. Let's start doing running back by committee. Cam Akers doesn't need to be the main guy here. You've already put your trust in Matthew Stafford to be the main guy. So let's not kind of, do a main passer, a main running back, a main receiver. We know y'all love already Cooper Kupp. We get it. So let's rein it in a little bit and let's win games, all right? Let's not, once again, try to get all the credit yourself, all right? So we'll see how that progresses next week. So Cam Akers, 24 rushes for 48 yards. Nothing good. All right, and then in the receiving game, who was Matthew Stafford slinging this ball to? Once again, no surprise at the top. Cooper Kupp, 9 catches for 183 yards and a touchdown. Once again, absolutely fantastic. He did fumble, though, which is uncharacteristic, but, made up for it with that long bomb that set him up into field goal range at the end of the game to win the game. So Cooper Kupp, once again, 9 catches for 183 yards and a touchdown. OBJ getting it done like always, 6 catches, 69 yards. Tyler Higbee, 4 catches, 41 yards. Von Jefferson, 2 catches for 29 yards. Cam Akers, 3 catches, 20 yards. Kendall Blanton, 2 catches, 18 yards and a touchdown. And then Sony Michel, 2 catches, -4 yards. Okay, so Sony Michel, 0 yards in total. Unfortunate. Please, let's run this man a little bit more out here. But Rams, if all those turnovers didn't happen, this Rams team is blowing out the Bucs. This is not a 3-point close game. This is domination by the Rams, like we saw already earlier in the regular season. Rams dominant on the Bucs. Alrighty, now let's talk about the Bucs and Tom Brady. Tom Brady, folks, slung the ball 54 times. They were down big bad. They had to throw the ball, and Tom Brady, obviously you trust him to do that. So Tom Brady throws 30 of 54. 55% completion percentage. Unfortunate here. Didn't have a good game, but when you give him all those opportunities, when you give him multiple fourth second chances, he's going to take advantage of it, folks, and that's exactly what we saw. Once again, why Tom Brady is better than Aaron Rodgers, not just pure quarterback-wise, but also in the greatest of all time argument. Aaron Rodgers did not overcome that fumble by Mercedes Lewis, folks. He did not overcome that. They were floundering the entire rest of the game. Tom Brady floundering the entire game here, caught some breaks in the fourth quarter by some great defensive efforts by the Bucs of forcing all those turnovers. Yes, the Rams, unfortunate turning the ball over, but we also have to give credit to this Bucs team of forcing these turnovers. What was it? Ndamukong Suh with the forced fumble. We get Jamal Dean with the forced fumble. We get Antoine Winfield Jr. with a forced fumble. So got to give them all credit for that, making big plays, especially that Ndamukong Suh final fumble to truly tie up the game here for the Bucs. That was the most impressive turnover right there. And Ndamukong Suh, the great defensive playmaker that he can be, truly got it done there last night. So big time shout out to Ndamukong Suh. But Tom Brady, 329 yards, that's solid. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Interception came, he also fumbled as well. Interception came in the second quarter, but only resulted to a Rams fumble. Almost score. That would have been, on the 1 yard line. That's the Cam Akers fumble on the 1 yard line. But once again, Tom Brady getting bailed out on these turnovers, folks, like he did in the NFC Championship game against Aaron Rodgers last season. Classic Aaron Rodgers, not taking advantage of turnovers. Classic. And then we had the fumble by Tom Brady in the fourth quarter, which results into a fumble by the Rams, which results into a turnover on downs for the Bucs, which results into a missed field goal by the Rams, which results into a turnover on downs by the Bucs, which results into a punt by the Rams, which results into a touchdown for the Bucs. So at the end of the day, the Tom Brady fumble resulted into positive points for the Bucs. Once again, folks, okay? So Tom Brady will always overcome any turnovers that he has. Nobody can ever make Tom Brady pay for his turnovers, and I don't know what the hell it is about it, folks. It's not like it's only been 1 year or 1 game. It's his entire career, folks. Championship games, Super Bowls, playoff games, regular season games. It doesn't matter. Can y'all start making Tom Brady pay for his turnovers? Please, y'all make every other quarterback pay for their turnovers all the time, but y'all can't do it to the greatest quarterback of all time. So Tom Brady must have some hex, some spell on the ball where when he turns over the football's like, no points allowed. You shall not pass the goal line. You will not score on this ball. I don't know what Tom Brady is, folks. That just speaks to his goatness again. You can't take points from him. You can't actively take the ball from Tom Brady and score points. It's some mojo. It's some mentality. I don't know what it is, folks. It's the spiritual. We all know there's some sort of, outside aspect to games and all that, folks. That is that. I can't explain it. It's otherworldly. It's unseeable. You cannot see it in the air, but there is something in the air when Tom Brady turns over the ball. You can't do anything with it. I don't know what it is. We don't have the technology to understand what the hell it could possibly be. Don't know. I think it's ghosts. I think it's witches. I truly think it's witchcraft, but we've got no proof of it. But make Tom Brady pay for his turnovers, because he didn't do it here, and you almost lost the game. Luckily, the Bucs defense beefed it big time on the 44-yard pass to Cooper Kupp to set up the game-winning field goal. Alrighty, so here we go. Done with Tom Brady. All those turnovers, nobody scored any points off of. How unfortunate. Alright, and then in the running game, Leonard Fournette, huge game by him. Leonard Fournette, man, oh man, that man is great, folks. You want Leonard Fournette on your team. The man steps it up tenfold in the playoffs, and for that, big time shout out to Leonard Fournette. Honestly, I mean, one of the most impressive, clutch, consistent playoff performers that there is in the league is Leonard Fournette, folks. Truly recognize this man. 13 rushes for Leonard Fournette, 51 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4th and 1, correct? Let's go up to this fourth quarter touchdown. 4th and 1. Leonard Fournette, let me make sure this is 4th and 1. 4th and 1, Leonard Fournette on the 9-yard line. They pitch it to him, takes it off the edge, and that's a touchdown for Leonard Fournette, folks. So when everybody was thinking, hey, they're just going to go up right up the middle, Leonard Fournette on 4th and 1, touchdown, easy peasy. So, and that was to tie the game right there, I believe. Yeah, that was to tie the game. So Leonard Fournette, tie game, all that on 4th and 1, clutch, big time shout out to Leonard Fournette. And he was doing it last year as well, last year in the playoffs. Why they won the Super Bowl, playoff Lenny, running and catching the ball out of the backfield. And then there was some nice floater by Tom Brady in this game that Leonard Fournette caught with one hand. It was absolutely fantastic as well. So Leonard Fournette starts to catch in the playoffs. He starts to run hard in the playoffs. It's the playoffs is when Leonard Fournette truly comes. He's like the groundhog. He's like, oh, it's my time? I don't see my shadow. I think it's my time, baby. And he pops out and he runs for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then he catches for 56 yards. So 100-yard performance by Leonard Fournette. We'll take that absolutely. All right, here we go. Receiving, Mike Evans, 8 catches for 119 yards and a touchdown. Rob Gronkowski, 4 catches, 85 yards, no touchdown. But man, oh man, I need Tom Brady to retire just so Rob Gronkowski can retire, because can we give some respect to Rob Gronkowski? The man looks like he's going to fall apart every single time he runs a route, folks. He catches the ball, and I'm just like, please just go down. Do not take a big hit. I cannot watch Rob Gronkowski get absolutely crippled here in football. He seems like a great guy, folks. He seems like a great teammate, a great leader, a great just person in general. Will always go to war for whoever, for whatever reason, folks. Will never question anything. Will just go out there and not do what he's told, but he'll always buy in. He's a true team player. Like, literally, that's exactly what Rob Gronkowski is. A team player. The most teamist playerist that there has ever been in the NFL is Robert Gronkowski. The man, his back is already screwed up, but it doesn't matter. As long as Tom Brady is playing, Rob Gronkowski will always be there for Tom Brady. Like, you can't find, if you can only get one friend in your entire life, you want to make sure that friend is Robert Gronkowski, okay? Big time shout out to this man, still putting his body on the line here, even though that he looks like he's going to break down at any moment. Shout out to this man, still getting it done. 4 catches, 85 yards, still out there, still battling, and just being a great leader, teammate, and everything. I can't respect it enough, folks, honestly. Big time shout out to Rob Gronkowski. Do we go over Mike Evans? Mike Evans, leading receiver, 8 catches, 119 yards and a touchdown. Yes, Mike Evans got his kind of, contribution, but I think it came a little bit too late. Once again, like we were saying, this game was really over at halftime. This really should not have been a 3-point game. Turnovers made it like this, and yes, turnovers are a point of the game, so we still give the Bucs defense credit, but overall, the Rams, they won the game at the end of the day, and it really should have been in dominating fashion. But I think the Bucs were a little too conservative with Mike Evans throughout this game. We really didn't get him opening up until all those turnovers happened, until they needed to kind of sling the ball around because they were down big, bad late in the second half where they had no option to sling the ball down the field. And I just thought you could probably get Mike Evans a little bit more involved early on in the game. And I know it's hard because you got Jalen Ramsey, but when you threw to him, he burned him. So why didn't you take those chances a little bit earlier in the game? So that was probably the one knock that I have on this Bucs team this game, was not getting Mike Evans more involved, not taking more deep down the field shots at Mike Evans. They were once again utilizing him a little bit in the short game, screen game early on, like they were doing last week in the playoffs that we didn't really love against the Eagles. Just let the man work. He's your best receiver. Tom Brady. You saw what Tom Brady and Randy Moss did. Mike Evans is good. I'm not putting him like Randy Moss, but maybe a knockoff version of Randy Moss. Absolutely. And we've seen them hook up down the field before. So I really thought the Bucs should have been more aggressive offensively. I know the Rams defense is very, very good, folks. You don't have to tell me that. But at the end of the day, you must trust your weapons. And if I got Tom Brady and Mike Evans on potentially Tom Brady's last ride right here, potentially last playoff game against the Rams team that I've already lost to, I'm going to take some shots here and live and die by Tom Brady and Mike Evans. What else are we going to live and die by? Screen passes, dinking and dunking? That's what I want to live and die by? No, thank you. So I thought they just waited a little bit too long to utilize Mike Evans, but unfortunate. All right, Leonard Fournette, 9 catches, 56 yards. Scotty Miller, 4 catches, 38 yards. And then Tyler Johnson, 3 catches for 15 yards. So, the Bucs, man, they kept it close because of the turnovers. I give them credit for cashing in on turnovers late. Tom Brady being clutch when he needed to, given all of his chances. And unfortunately, they come up a little bit short. Rams win 30-27. And now we have the question, is this Tom Brady's last ride here? Is this his final game? I don't really think it is. But, he says he's going to kind of take his time, and he's not really sure. So, we'll see what Tom Brady does. Once again, big talk. Hey, I'll play till I'm 50. I'll play till I'm 100. I don't care. And then at the last, week, 2 weeks, we've been kind of getting reports that he's going to retire. It just kind of came out of nowhere. But we'll see what Tom Brady decides to do. Retire, don't retire. You're still the greatest of all time as of now, because let's talk about this last game, the best game of the weekend, folks. Bills at the Chiefs.